Have you ever had one of those days where you wake up feeling like you barely slept, even though you were in bed all night? Or maybe it's the middle of the afternoon, and even though you haven't done anything too strenuous, your body feels heavy, your mind feels foggy, and all you want to do is sit down and just stop. If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. As we get older, rest becomes more important than ever, but not just the kind of rest that comes from sleeping. In fact, sleep is only one piece of the puzzle. And for many people over 60, the real problem isn't that they aren't getting enough rest. It's that they aren't getting the right kind of rest. In this video, we're going to talk about the 4 types of rest every senior needs to feel refreshed, clear-minded, and energized, not just for today, but for the long run. Rest that helps you live longer, feel better, and move through life with more ease and joy. Now, let's begin with the first kind of rest. And this one might surprise you. It's mental rest. You might think, I'm retired now, I'm not working, my mind isn't being pushed like it used to be. But mental fatigue doesn't only come from solving problems or managing a busy job. It can come from constant decision-making, too much screen time, worrying about the future, or even just trying to keep track of appointments and to-do lists. Have you ever been sitting quietly, not doing much, and still felt mentally drained? That's mental fatigue at work. Our minds, especially as we age, crave moments of quiet, not just from noise around us, but from internal noise too. One of the best ways to give your brain the rest it needs is to create small pockets of quiet during your day. Not necessarily silence, but stillness. Maybe it's sitting on the porch with a cup of tea, doing a slow breathing exercise, or even taking a few minutes to close your eyes and let your thoughts drift without judgment. It's not about trying to think of nothing, but about letting your mind settle, like letting muddy water sit until it becomes clear. You might be surprised how even 5 or 10 minutes of mental stillness can help you feel more refreshed than a nap. Another helpful habit is writing things down. Simple, small things like appointments, reminders, even your grocery list. This takes pressure off your mind to hold on to everything, which often creates stress we don't even notice. Give your mind permission to rest by letting the pen or calendar carry some of the load. Now, closely connected to mental rest, but a bit different, is sensory rest. We often don't realize just how much our senses are constantly being stimulated. The television in the background, the light from your phone or tablet, the noise from the street outside, even clutter in a room, all of it sends signals to your brain, and your brain works hard to process them. Over time, especially for those of us over 60, that constant input can become exhausting. Our eyes get tired, our ears become sensitive, and our whole nervous system starts feeling overloaded. That's why sensory rest is so important. And it's not about avoiding the world completely. It's about giving your senses little breaks during the day. For example, try turning off the TV for a while and just listening to natural sounds like birds outside or a soft breeze. Or dim the lights in your home in the evening to help your eyes relax before bed. Even something as simple as closing your eyes for a minute while sitting in a comfortable chair can signal your brain to calm down. Try spending time in a quiet, uncluttered space where there's nothing trying to grab your attention. These small, peaceful moments allow your brain and body to recharge in a way sleep alone can't provide. And don't underestimate the power of silence. Many of us grew up in homes filled with music, television, and conversation, which are all beautiful things. But sometimes what the body needs is just a little peace. Letting the world quiet down, even for a short time, creates space for rest deep inside your nervous system. These 2 types of rest, mental and sensory, are often overlooked, but they're deeply connected to your energy, your focus, and even your mood. When you start giving yourself regular moments of this kind of rest, you might notice that you're less irritable, more patient, and even more present with the people around you. And it's never too late to begin. Your body, your mind, and your spirit will thank you. Now that we've talked about mental and sensory rest, let's keep going with another kind of rest that's just as important, but often misunderstood: emotional rest. This one goes deeper than most people expect. You see, emotional exhaustion can sneak up on you. It doesn't always come from major events or tragedies. It can come from being the one who always smiles, always listens, always says, "I'm fine," even when you're not. Have you ever felt tired even though nothing physical seemed wrong? Like there was a heaviness on your chest that you couldn't quite explain? That might be your heart asking for a break. Not from people, not from life, but from carrying the emotional weight you've quietly been holding for years. As we get older, many of us carry more than we realize. Memories, regrets, relationships we've lost, things we wish we'd done differently. And often, we push those feelings down because we don't want to burden anyone. We tell ourselves to be strong, to keep moving forward, to be the stable one for the family. But strength doesn't mean silence. And being open about how you feel, whether it's sadness, loneliness, or even frustration, is not weakness. It's a form of rest. Sometimes emotional rest means giving yourself permission to cry. Other times, it might mean speaking honestly with a friend, telling someone, I'm having a hard time right now, or even writing your feelings in a journal just to get them out of your head and onto the page. You deserve a safe space to feel what you feel, not to fix everything, but to acknowledge it, because what we don't express, we carry. And the longer we carry it, the heavier it becomes. One powerful way to create emotional rest is to spend time with people who allow you to be your full self. People who don't expect you to always be cheerful or upbeat. People who simply sit with you, listen without judging, and let you be human. If you have one or two people like that in your life, you are very fortunate. And if you don't, it's never too late to find them. Support groups, community centers, even gentle conversations at the park. Connection doesn't have to be big or dramatic. It can start with something as simple as saying, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and just letting the words come. Sometimes emotional rest also means creating distance from people or situations that drain you. And that's okay too. It's not about shutting people out. It's about recognizing what gives you energy and what quietly takes it away. At this point in your life, your peace matters. Now, after emotional rest comes a kind that many seniors overlook, but it's one that can reignite your sense of purpose and joy. It's creative rest. Now I know, some of you might be thinking, I'm not an artist. I don't paint or write poetry. But that's not what this is about. Creative rest isn't about producing something. It's about receiving beauty. It's about letting your mind and spirit be filled, not with tasks or worries, but with wonder. Have you ever watched the sunrise and felt your whole body exhale? Or listened to a song that made you feel something deep in your chest? That's creative rest. It's what happens when we experience something that reminds us of the beauty in life and allows us to simply soak it in. As we age, it's easy to get caught in routines. Wake up, eat, maybe take a walk, watch TV, go to bed. And while routine can be comforting, it can also become dull. The soul gets tired when it stops being surprised. That's where creative rest comes in. Maybe it's flipping through an old photo album and remembering the colors, the places, the laughter in those frozen moments. Maybe it's sitting in a garden, watching how the flowers move in the breeze. Or maybe it's picking up a paintbrush or a pencil. Not to create a masterpiece, but just to play, to express, to enjoy. Even watching a great movie, reading a good book, or listening to an old favorite record can give your spirit the rest it needs. Something that lifts you out of the ordinary and reminds you that life still has so much beauty to offer, even now, even here, even today. And if you've ever thought, it's too late for me to try something new, let me gently remind you, your imagination never ages. If your heart is still beating, your mind is still curious, and your soul still stirs at a sunset or a song, then you are still alive in the richest sense of the word. Creative rest doesn't have to take hours. It can be found in small, quiet moments of inspiration. But those moments feed something in you that's just as important as food, water, or sleep. They help you feel alive. They help you feel human. So, if you've been feeling tired in a way that sleep doesn't seem to fix, maybe your body isn't the only part of you that's asking for rest. Maybe it's your mind, your heart, your senses, your soul. And the beautiful thing is, you can start restoring those parts of yourself right now, right where you are. You don't need a special routine or expensive equipment. You just need permission. Permission to pause, to breathe, to feel, to receive. Spiritual rest. Now, this type of rest doesn't necessarily mean religion. Though for some, faith is a beautiful source of peace and comfort. But at its core, spiritual rest is about reconnecting with something larger than yourself. It's about meaning, about feeling that your life matters and that even in the quiet moments, you are part of something deeply valuable. You see, many people think that rest is just about stepping away from doing, but spiritual rest is about stepping into being, not being useful, not being productive, just being, being enough, being loved, being part of the bigger picture. As we get older, it's normal to reflect on the years gone by. We think about what we've done, what we haven't, what we've lost, and what we hope is still ahead. And sometimes that reflection can make us feel unmoored, like we're drifting, like the best chapters of our story have already been written. But here's the truth. Just because life slows down doesn't mean it stops having meaning. In fact, this season of life can be one of the richest and most soulful if we allow ourselves to rest in the deeper things. Spiritual rest can be found in prayer and meditation, or simply in sitting quietly with your thoughts while watching the wind through the trees. It might be found in gratitude, in waking up and naming just one or two things you're thankful for. It might come from helping someone else, or just showing kindness when no one's watching. It's that gentle reminder that you are not forgotten. You are not small. You are not just passing time. You are part of a great, unfolding mystery called life, and your presence still matters more than you know. Have you ever had one of those moments, maybe while watching your grandchild laugh or hearing an old friend's voice on the phone, when everything feels still and suddenly your heart feels full in a way you can't quite explain? That's spiritual rest. It's not about escaping life. It's about feeling deeply connected to it. Sometimes spiritual rest also means letting go. Letting go of things we can't control. Letting go of regrets, of old wounds, of the need to always understand everything. It's okay not to have all the answers. It's okay to just rest in the mystery of life and trust that somehow you're exactly where you need to be right now. You don't have to be busy to be important. You don't have to be needed to be worthy. You don't have to be surrounded by people to be complete. Sometimes just breathing, just being here, just listening to your own heartbeat, that is enough. And here's something beautiful. The more we allow ourselves these kind of rest, the physical, the emotional, the creative, and the spiritual, the more energy we find in the smallest places. Suddenly, a short walk feels refreshing. A cup of tea becomes a joy. A phone call becomes a moment of connection instead of an obligation. When your soul is rested, life doesn't have to be exciting to be meaningful. It just has to be real. And that's something we all deserve, especially in our later years. So take a moment now, if you can, close your eyes, breathe in gently, feel the rise and fall of your chest. Listen to the quiet around you. That quiet isn't empty, it's full of all the life you've lived, all the love you've given, all the strength you've carried. And maybe, just maybe, it's time to stop chasing after rest and start welcoming it, making space for it, honoring it as part of the rhythm of a well-lived life. You don't need permission from the world to slow down. You only need to give it to yourself. Because true rest isn't a reward, it's a right. And the more you embrace it, the more you'll find that aging doesn't have to mean fading. It can mean deepening, enriching, growing in quieter, more beautiful ways. You've earned your rest, not just the kind that comes from a soft pillow, but the kind that sinks into your bones, calms your mind, and lifts your spirit. And remember, it's never too late to start. You can begin today. You can begin now. Take a walk, not to burn calories, but to feel the world beneath your feet. Sit with someone, not to talk, but just to share a moment. Listen to music that stirs something in you. Say a quiet prayer that comforts you, or just watch the sky and feel its vastness remind you how sacred this life really is. The years may be moving forward, but so are you, with grace, with wisdom, and with the power to rest, to heal, and to live fully, even in stillness. So today, give yourself what your body, heart, and soul have been asking for all along. A little more rest, a little more peace, and a lot more kindness, especially from yourself. And as we allow these different types of rest into our lives, something unexpected happens. We begin to feel whole again. Not just less tired, not just less sore or stressed, but truly whole, reconnected with who we are, what we love, and what still brings us joy. Because real rest isn't about doing nothing. It's about doing the right things that refill our spirit and remind us that we're alive, that we're still becoming even now. You might notice that when you're well rested, you start to smile more easily. Maybe your shoulders feel just a little lighter, or you sleep more deeply at night. Maybe you laugh a little more, or find yourself humming along to a song you haven't heard in years. These aren't small things. These are signs that your body and your soul are waking back up, and that's the heart of it. Rest brings us back to ourselves. If you've spent years caring for others, working hard, keeping things running, you might find it hard to stop and care for yourself in the same way. Maybe it feels selfish, or maybe you're not even sure how to rest anymore. But hear this, truly, there's nothing selfish about honoring your body and mind with the restoration they need. You're not lazy. You're not giving up. You're giving back to yourself. You've earned this chapter of ease, not just because of what you've done, but because of who you are. Sometimes we talk so much about staying active in our older years that we forget rest is just as powerful. Movement keeps the body strong, but rest keeps the soul resilient. The balance of both is what leads to real longevity, not just living longer, but living better. And if you're sitting there thinking, it's too late for me, I want to gently tell you, it's not. It's never too late to listen to your body, never too late to comfort your mind, never too late to breathe deeply, forgive yourself, and begin again with a little more softness and a little less pressure. Even a small change, a 5-minute moment of silence in the morning, a 10-minute stretch before bed, journaling a few thoughts, or simply going outside to feel the sun on your face, can begin to bring real change. Your body remembers how to heal. Your mind remembers how to settle. Your heart remembers how to feel light. All you need to do is give them permission. So take this as a loving reminder that your life is not behind you. There are still moments waiting to be felt deeply, conversations waiting to be had, gentle days filled with meaning. And maybe, just maybe, some of your best and most peaceful memories are still ahead. The world may rush, but you don't have to. Let others chase noise while you embrace quiet. Let others fill every hour while you learn to cherish the ones that hold stillness. Let others race while you rest and watch what grows inside you because of it. You are not here to be busy. You are here to be well. And before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. Your worth is not measured by how much you do. It's measured by your presence, your wisdom, your smile, your kindness. These things shine brighter when you're rested, when you're nourished, when you feel whole. So take today, or maybe tomorrow morning, and gift yourself a little rest in one of these 4 ways: physical, emotional, creative, or spiritual. You don't need to do all of them at once. Just one is enough to begin. The rest will follow. If this message spoke to your heart in any way, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts, your own favorite ways to rest, or what you've learned about slowing down in the comments. You never know who might read your words and feel encouraged by them. And if this video helped you feel a little lighter, a little more understood, please take a second to click the like button and subscribe to the channel. We're building a kind and thoughtful community here, one where growing older means growing wiser, not growing invisible. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope it gave you something gentle to carry with you today, something that makes your next breath feel easier, your next choice feel kinder, and your next rest feel a little more sacred. Here's to living your best life, fully, deeply, and peacefully at any age. You deserve nothing less.